Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So this is our first online lecture since we have classes which are suspended. So we have started these online lectures. So in our course information system now we have started the new chapter that is called IT infrastructure, hardware and software. Today we will discuss the part 1 and of course the part 2 will be in the next 3 days time. Uh, So, what are the learning objectives for this course? Of course, it involves the understanding of the components of IT infrastructure, what IT infrastructure is all about, what are the important aspects of it, including, of course, we talk about the hardware, the software, the network itself, and other related components. What are the major computer hardware, storage devices, input devices, output technologies used in business? So, of course, in recent times, there are lots of new inventions, new devices, new storage mechanisms have been evolved, and we will try to discuss some of them in this part. What are the major types of computer software used in business? So business has some specific requirements. So we will see that what are those requirements, and according to those requirements, what type of softwares which are available. So there are off the shelf software which are available. Organizations also develop their own softwares, and they customize different types of application or integrate different applications. So we will discuss this also in this chapter. Uh, in continuation, we'll also discuss the important contemporary hardware and software trends. Of course, these trends are changing over the time, and we will see that what is new nowadays, because as you know, the technology obsoletes in limited time. Average obsolescence period for any technology is about four years. So we'll see that what are the trends right now, and how organizations are using them. So we have some successful stories as well. We have some case studies of those organizations as well, which will help them to understand that how they have opted for different types of hardwares, applications, and softwares. So we will also discuss the principal issues in managing hardware and software technology, because managing information system means managing the hardware and software as well. So we must have the understanding that how we will manage the softwares, how we will update these softwares, how we'll introduce the new ones, when the integration is required, and all these stuff. So that is one case study which is discussed in this chapter. When you follow the chapter, please go through with that. That is regarding an aging systems no longer able to provide information rapidly enough for timely decisions, too unreliable for 24/7 operations. So of course, whenever we have an aging systems, that is the problem, because whenever the new requirements are coming, the aging system does not have the capacity to incorporate those new issues, those new problems, and of course, then we have to decide at one point in time that we need new solutions, which are more reliable and also provide uninterrupted 24/7 operations. So of course, whenever we have such problems, so we look for solutions, and when we look for solutions, we have different solutions to solve a problem. And of course, whenever we talking about solutions, we have to see the feasibility as well. Of course, that feasibility part is not in this chapter, so we will discuss later on that how to develop those feasibilities as well. So the solution is to replace or upgrade the hardware, and so there are two main options, that either we go for the replacement or we can go for the replacement, or whether we go for upgradation. So of course, upgradation is one option. We can upgrade the technology to certain extent. And also when you talk about replacement, so of course replacement means that you are transforming to a new system. So of course you need more finance for it. You need people who can understand the new system. You have to train people. You have to convert their processes into the new system, and also the data which you are carrying, you have to transfer that data to the new systems. So one of the important solution for that purpose is Oracle PeopleSoft Enterprise Application. That is one of the solution. In this problem, they have recommended it, but no, that is not the only one. So these PeopleSoft Enterprise Application, or you heard about SAP. These are called the Enterprise Resource Planning Applications, ERP applications or ERP softwares, uh, which normally are being used by the business organizations at large, because it covers all those modules which are required for a business, starting from manufacturing, distribution, supply chain management, inventory, finance, accounts, uh, payroll, human resource, everything. So all modules are there. So it is always feasible for business organization, to have such systems installed, and so that they automate their systems. So now they have opted for this, and they recommended the blade servers, which is the new technology. Um and that technology basically enhances the capacity of the servers a lot. And when they also opted for grid architecture. So grid architecture is sort of an architecture where we link different servers together geographically, and we can perform lot of tasks on distributed architecture. So the processing capability of the system enhances more than 1000%, and normally people say it is sort of a virtual supercomputer as well. And they have also introduced a new concept which is called virtualization. We heard about virtualization a lot, virtual applications, virtual games, virtual reality games, which you observed. But virtualization here means that they have introduced the concept of logical sort of servers instead of physical servers. So when we have one physical server, but we can make three, four, five virtual servers on it, which can perform separate tasks, and provide separate services to the users. So and that will also increase the overall capacity, and utilization is also increased. So that is more efficient solution in this particular scenario. Of course, when we have different scenarios, we have different solutions. So there is not one single solution which is best for every situation. So it also demonstrates the IT roles in using resources more efficiency. So the main task is that to enhance the efficiency level, to increase the efficiency and reduce the computer energy usage. So that whole scenario is summed up into this diagram. If you see that how that new infrastructure speeds up the system. So you have the business solutions, and there are business challenges as well. So whenever we are running such systems where we are dealing with the information, we are dealing with processes, so there are always business challenges. Those business challenges includes the 24/7 operations, to provide best services to the clients, to execute all those automated process efficiently, and all related reports which we want to generate over a period of time. So the business challenges are there because the businesses are competing with each other. So every organization wants to have such system which can improve their process, so that they can compete in this world. So we always have business challenges. So whenever we have the business challenges, there are business solutions. So business solutions leads to business challenges, or you can say when we have business challenges, we look for the business solutions. And when we have the business challenges, of course, when I say the people mean the people who are using it. So of course, the people who are using it, they can tell us that what problems they are facing, what issues they have in the existing system, and how they think that can be improved. So that is the importance of all those users of the system which are there. And you can categorize users as well into different categories. One users are those who are part of the organizations, and there are clients as well. The customers are well who are dealing with the system, and we have to see that how they respond to different situations. Of course, the organization itself has an important role for the information system. What type of organization is this? What are the goals they have? What type of products or services they are dealing with? What is the overall structure of the organization? That is also very important. So all that is important when we talk about building an information systems, and of course the technology. Technology, without technology, of course, we cannot build such efficient information systems. So technology provides us all the power to build such systems. And of course, with the emergence of new technologies, now we are looking for more modernized systems which provide 24/7 services to their clients, and the processes become very fast. And now the overall scenario of the business changes. We have people, organization, technology. So what we do that we have to develop new systems more rapidly, and what we do then when we build the new systems, so we have to provide the scaling up property as well. So we have to scale up to support business growth, because the requirements and the business does not remain stagnant or static. So with the passage of time, of course, the business changes. We have new data, we have maybe new products, or we have new mergers as well. So how that our information system incorporate all those things, that is very important. So we have to monitor the service level and cost, that is very important. Develop modernization plan, and make the IT infrastructure investment, that is very important. So whenever we have those plans, we need to have the investments, align IT infrastructure with business goal. That is very important, because in some organization I have observed that they focus on the IT infrastructure, but they have not aligned it with the business goals, what they want to achieve. So just having the state of the art technology does not mean that it will serve your purpose. That is important, that you must know that what you want to achieve, what are your goals, whether your goals are in alignment with the existing infrastructure or not. So that is important. So we must discuss with the IT people and within the organization to understand the need. So deploy in this particular situation scenario, which is a case study which is given in your chapter. Please go after this presentation, must go through with in detail. So there they have basically come up with solutions which may have the revised routes, new routes, the optimal paths, calculations, the new schedules being created, and also the deployment of new cards. So replace the legacy systems and outdated technology. So when we talk about technology, so we have to replace the legacy system with the outdated technology. For example, we are deploying the Blade servers. We are running Linux on it. Linux is an operating environment like Windows. Implement grid computing. Grid computing again is a technology. So again, in this particular scenario, it is recommended. But in different situations, you may have different options. Deploy the Oracle PeopleSoft Enterprise software. Again, it's a part of a technology. So the organization role is there, the technology, and the people who are part of it. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide, and that is regarding the IT infrastructure components. So that provides a platform for supporting all information systems in the business. So IT infrastructure includes the computer hardware, the computer software, data management technology, network and telecommunication technology, and the technology services. So of course, these are the 5 important components and pillars of the IT infrastructure. So without a computer hardware, will not work. So in any organization, they have to have the computer systems or laptop systems or workstations provided to all users. Then they need to have a software. What type of software? Maybe the business softwares, ERP based applications, maybe The off-the-shelf products or the operating environment, of course, they have to provide to the people. So that is what the computer softwares, maybe some analytic software as well. So the third thing is data management technology. Every organization have based on the data resource or information resource, because that is considered to be most important resource for any organization. So for building information system, they need to have a proper data management strategy or data management system. So for that purpose, they need to organize that data, to manage that data, that can be used maybe for inventory, for payrolls, for invoice generations maybe, or calculating or forecasting the new orders in the next coming months or so. So networking and telecommunication is the fourth component, because no users can work in isolation or in an environment they work individually. But actually, whenever we are part of the organization, so we have to interlink all those users and provide them all the services. So for that purpose, we need the networking. And when we talk about networking, you people have an understanding about different network approaches. For example, you talked about earlier LAN, local area network, WAN, wide area networks. So organization, they opt for different types of networks, so they are connected, well connected. And once they are connected, so they can provide various services to the users. And of course, the other technological services as well, which is the hiring of consultancy, maybe the renting out the data banks, and opting for other solutions as well. So that is, these are the important infrastructure components for any IT-based infrastructure. So whenever we are dealing with, we must understand that how we are dealing with such components, because the system only works if we have the interconnectivity among these. Let's suppose we have very good machines with ourselves, but the network architecture is not good. So maybe we'll not get good solutions and the process becomes slow. Sometimes we have good network-based systems, but the data management strategy is not that good. So that also doesn't work well. So all the components should work in alignment with the goal. That all these components are now represented in a wheel, and of course every part has its own significance. So if any one of the part is not considered, then of course there will be no smooth movement, and that will not help us to achieve our goals. So types of computers, as you have you have studied this part in your first prerequisite course about introduction to information technology, that there are different types of computers. Nowadays, the people are more used to personal computers. We also call it microcomputers or workstations. So in every organization they have PCs and workstations provided to all those users, and every user has its own login, and the user log into the system and they work whatever the work is assigned to them. Apart from that, the people are also using the laptops, or now commonly people are using the mobile devices, because the latest mobile devices or iPhone devices, they have that capability that we can provide all those services which are available on the desktop, now available on the mobile devices as well. So that will also help the user that from wherever they are, they can access those applications and they can work from by using their mobile devices. So then we have servers. Of course, when we talk about any organizational network, we must have servers, because servers provide us the connectivity. Servers provide us different services. Maybe that services are include the sharing of data files, sharing of data, maybe the printing services or email services, so on and so forth. Network services as well. So for all these services, we need to have server machines are specifically built machines, and they have much more capacity than a personal computer, and that is that the organization decides that how that what is the requirement within that organization, and how those which server is best suitable for the given environment. Mainframes are also a sort of a server and used in the business for that purpose. Supercomputer is considered to be a very sophisticated device which has a sophisticated computer used for tasks requiring extremely rapid and complex calculation with thousands of variables, millions of measurements. Normally, supercomputers are not used in business environments, so they are being used in specific scientific environments and military-related environment for high powered computing. Grid computing is another idea, and in that idea, as we have talked earlier, that geographically what we do is we connect different computers or server machines together to on a single network, and of course, when they distribute the work among them, that work is done very quickly, and it is sort of a virtual super computer. So client server computing is very famous in business environments, because whenever we deploy models in business environment, we usually opt for client server computing, where we have the server and there are clients. So the users within the business organization or any organization are basically the clients, and the server is there to provide various kind of services. So that is why we also call it client server computing or a client server model. So client is a user point of entry, and server store and process shared data and perform network management activities. That client server computing approach can be implemented by using two-tiered and as well as multi-tiered client server architecture. So in a two-tiered architectures, we have two machines or two layers only. One is the client side, and the other one is the server side. So client have a request, and the server fulfills that request. Client may have a query and server may respond to the query. The multi-tiered client architecture means that we may have 3 tier, 5 tier, or maybe n-tier client server architecture based on the given environment. So if we, for example, we may have a separate web server or application server, and then we have the data server. So what we did is that we distribute it into three parts. That is the example of a client server. In a simple client server model, the client has a user interface. That is very important, because every client has to have that user interface where that client go for request, and that request is sent to the server, and the server will provide all those data services to the client. And the application functions or a network resources or data is reside at the server side. In a multi-tier client architecture, this example shows that there's a client. First of all, the client is connected to a web server, and of course, the connectivity is established through internet. Most of the business organization, as you know, they have their web applications, and through those web applications, they are providing services to the client. Maybe you are using, you have a bank account, and they have provided you a web application for account. So there is a web server. There is a web server that is connected to the internet, and that client access that web server. And from the web servers, we have various applications which are running on the application server, that is sales, production, accounting, etc., etc. And all those services, and for that, all those applications, the data is right at the data server. So now you have observed that is example of a multi-tiered architecture. The primary secondary storage technologies includes the hard drive, USB, flash drive, as you know, and with the passage of time, there are hard drives, and the new hard drives have much more capacity than we had it earlier. We have also the USB flash drives. We have optical discs as well. The magnetic tapes are obsolete now. Not people are not using it. So, and we have networking storage devices, SANs devices, which are being used. Uh, with this, I conclude over here, and inshallah, we'll continue.